All right, and we're live. Welcome back to the Dev Twitch stream. My name is Nick Taylor. I am a lead software engineer at Forem. Forem is the software that powers dev.
And I'm Christina Gorton. I'm the open source community manager here at Forem. And today our guest is Meg. Meg, would you like to tell us more about yourself?
Sure thing. First, I'd like to say thank you so much for having me. Christina, thank you for encouraging me to fill out the form to come on. And Nick, thank you for picking me. I feel so special. So my name is Meg Gutshall. I live in the suburbs of Philadelphia. Shout out to Philly. And I'm a I'm a Ruby on Rails developer. I work part-time on a subcontract that I really am enjoying. It's like my first programming job, so so
Cool,
excited.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
learning
awesome.
so much. And I'm also finishing up a software engineering boot camp right now.
Nice.
And then I'll be looking for full-time Rails work. So yeah, I'm
Cool.
gonna be all in your inboxes soon.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so yeah, so today we're doing a live coding pairing session with Meg. So, what are we actually going to be working on? And I'm asking this because I've been kind of busy this week and I haven't had a chance to really look at the issue yet. So it's gonna be fun.
This will be really fun.
Yeah. Let
Krista
me
Mars is in the
share
chat.
my
Hey, what's up, Chris?
screen. Would you like me to share my screen show?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Cool, cool. Let's go
Some
here.
liquid tags.
Okay,
Woo!
yeah, that's right. That's what we're working on. Okay, cool, cool.
Yes.
Who wants to mention what liquid tags are for those who don't know? Either one of you can.
Um, I can give my understanding of what they are, and Nick, you could fill in stuff that I do not cover.
Cool, cool.
As
Sounds good.
I understand, liquid tags are a templating language that is built off of Ruby. I was told by my friend Mike Rogers that they're actually regular expressions underneath it all.
Oh, cool.
And they were built by Shopify to work on their platform. So they just make rendering things a little more easier. And Forem slash dev2. How do you refer to dev2's code
Yeah, so
base? That's a little.
Yeah,
yeah,
we are
so it's
Forem. If you
yeah.
go there into the repo, it's Forem now. It used to be Dev 2, so anyone who gets confused by that, that's okay. We have transitioned over to Forem, and we are called Forem because it powers all of the forums like Dev.
Okay, so Forum's code base uses liquid tags for some really cool stuff. When I first noticed some of the custom liquid tags that were built, I went into the code and things like embedding code pens and YouTube videos, stuff like that is
Yeah.
new usage and very unique. So really interesting.
Yeah.
Is there anything else about general liquid tags that you think needs to be added, Nick?
No, I think that pretty much nails it. I know one thing I know, Shopify definitely created them, and Shopify is a Rails shop, so it's Ruby. But I know when I was working in the .NET ecosystem, like 6 years ago, you could actually use liquid tags in C sharp, well, or any kind of .NET. It's typically C sharp, you're right and stuff. But so they must have. I think somebody must have ported it over like the concept. So
Mm-hmm.
it's used. The only other place I've seen it used is C sharp, but I guess the concept could be used in any language if somebody wanted to port it. Um, the but yeah, what you're saying too is, yeah, we do have a lot of liquid tags. There's some cool ones that you mentioned there, and like given that it's dev, we also have like GitHub. There's some standard ones too, like Twitter and YouTube, and it's it always brings a smile on my face whenever somebody will post a comment or something. Like I do a like, what did you learn this week or something, and people will post their
Mm-hmm.
like whatever they wrote that week, or like they link to a YouTube video, and some people don't realize sometimes that there's liquid tags. So it always feels good when I can say like, oh, you can also use a liquid tag, and then they're like, whoa. So it's
Hey,
so that's
hey,
pretty cool.
let me blow your mind for a second.
Yeah,
Liquid
exactly.
tags. You're like,
I also just want to point out real quick that this issue is part of our bug smash that we've been doing all month. Our bug smash event is we had a bunch of bugs labeled bug smash, and people in the community were contributing to these bugs to help us smash them because we had quite a few in our repository that our team couldn't necessarily work on, especially ones that are a little bit more dev specific and not general forum. Although this one will be general. So that's good too.
Yeah.
And at the end of this, if we get this bug smashed in the next couple days, then Meg can write a little post on like what she did here, and we will be giving her a nice little bug smash badge and some stickers.
oh, I
Nice,
didn't
nice.
know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Before we get started, just one thing. Do you mind just zooming in your web browser, like maybe zoom it in twice, maybe just for the folks at home? And um, the other thing I was gonna say is so uh, whenever we do the live coding pairing sessions, uh, there's a few reasons why we do this. We want to some degree, it is promoting Forum because that's what we work on, but it's also to get people involved in open source, and because depending on people's level of comfort with like working in open source or Git or just the languages in the project and stuff, there's a lot of things that can make this intimidating. I think Meg's pretty cool as a cucumber because I've talked to her before a bunch of times. But it's really those are kind of the reasons behind it. It's also to, like Meg said, she's looking for a job, so this also gives you a bit of exposure, which is great too. And the thing also that I want to stress about these coding sessions is the goal really isn't to finish whatever issue we're working on. It's amazing if we do finish it, but it's really not the goal of this. It's really like, let's take a peek at what the issue is. Let's see how it's like, let's show it not working, or whatever the issue is. And then start diving into the code base, maybe talk about how we can fix it. Maybe we do get a little further, maybe we do finish, but either way, it's not the goal to complete this and have a pull request like open at the end of the stream, because that's a little unrealistic. It kind of sounds like a horrible job interview as well. Like, you have an hour and a half to contribute to our code base and make sure it's on GitHub. It's
Make sure you
really
do the
just a,
tests
yeah,
in the
exactly,
hour and a
yeah.
half.
So
Very
yeah, so cool. So
um,
with that, yeah, sorry, go ahead, Mike.
oh, okay, good. I was gonna ask if Christina put the issue up there so people could follow along.
Oh
That's
yeah,
like
cool.
part of the fun of it is going through and searching through the code base with us. Feel free, everybody, to participate along and help us along with this, because open source coding is definitely a team effort.
Yep.
And I will take any help I can get on this. So, yeah, the meat of the issue, as Crimson Mid astutely noted. And by the way, this is just, I don't know if you have a template do you have a template when opening an issue?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Because this is a good template. Like, they
Yep.
succinctly describe the issue. When using liquid tags on a post that was published under an organization, it shows the user's avatar. So I read that, I'm like, what does that even mean? So then they list steps to reproduce this issue. Create a post under an organization, add it as a liquid tag into a comment or another post. The avatar displayed will be the poster's. I'm still kind of unclear on what that is. And then they
Mhm.
Yeah.
say what the expected behavior is. Everywhere, the way a organization posts avatar is the organization's avatar, and in the small, the poster's avatar. So when using the liquid tags, it should show the avatar in that way. And then the screenshots is what really did it for me. So it's
Yeah.
like this is the organization and that's the user, like in a small sub
Yeah.
avatar. Um, and then on the home page, it shows the same. And then, so this is this user just posting for the dev team. And then this one is just a user posting something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they say, but when using liquid tags, they get this behavior, which is just the big user avatar.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So that
Yeah.
summarizes the issue.
Yeah. And
Yeah, so they're hoping for that image up above where you have like the organization that's like big, and then you have like the little person versus like what you're seeing in the liquid tags where it's a big image of just the person and no mention of the organization at all, whether big or small. So
yeah, and I think
Mhm.
yeah, because right now, like the screenshots they were showing, that's when you like if you were to look on like for example, the Dev2 feed and you see a post from somebody in an org, it will show it with the org and the little avatar of the
yeah.
author. And I think the other ones might be from sidebars and stuff, or these all look like they're from the feed actually because they have the save button there. Um,
Hmm.
so
Let's see.
my
It's,
yeah,
it
so
doesn't look like there's examples of that
yeah, here
here.
what we could
Yeah, because
do
there's might
is
not be an organization.
yeah. So I think what we could do first, because I think what would be best to do first is if we go to your local website there, if you bring that to the front, what we want to do is, and if we just make that full screen and maybe zoom in a couple times, I think what we want to do first
That
is
looks good.
yeah, that's perfect. You can either log in. I'm not sure if you set up like the GitHub keys and stuff for your project or not, but if not, it's not a big deal. Um, you can do a login. Um,
You
uh,
can definitely do that.
don't check your keys because it's going to show them on the screen unless you have. There's side note, but there's a
Well,
really good visual.
I have it seated.
Okay.
So would it be because I thought there was a let me zoom in here too. I thought there was a dummy admin login here.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely that. It was more to create an organization. I'm sure we can add the admin though, because it's just a user as well. So we can log in as the admin. That's fine too. So I'm also just gonna drop in the chat for folks who are interested in contributing to Forum. One of the first things you want to do is check out the Forum documentation. Uh,
Yeah,
did I type that
and
right? Yeah.
Which has a few
so
bugs in it, but we're working on migrating to something new. So keep an eye out.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna say here, I'll even just chuck this in because this is the getting started.
Hmm.
This I had trouble with this myself, and I've done a lot of open source contribution, and I just think part of it is because this code base is so gigantic, and
Yep.
because there's so many contributors to it. Um, Luckily, I had my friend shout out to Mike Rogers. I adore you. He helped me get this thing going. Um, and I believe Christina's gonna drop my socials later.
Yep.
Um, Sorry, train. Uh, so if you have issues with getting set up, you can DM me on Twitter or
Nice.
LinkedIn. If you connect on LinkedIn, just write a note that you saw me on this stream because I usually don't like accept people I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so like feel free to ask questions because it's difficult.
Yeah, and if just as a side note, if there was anything that you think could have been like better explained or maybe organized differently, you can always feel free to create an issue, Meg, you specifically since you just went through this, and just let us know, and we could always like create an issue to update the documentation in a way that's better because that's something we've been working on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just,
and
I think the difficulty is then everybody has like a different setup
Yeah.
themselves. So,
yeah, it depends. Like for the core team, I think most of us just install it locally. I think you got set up
Mm-hmm.
with Docker. There was some issues with Docker. I know there's been a lot of work going on to improve stuff in Docker right now. Because
Yep.
I think Docker for a lot of folks makes sense because you can just like regardless of how you're set up, you can just say run Docker and run the Docker install, and then it's like an isolated environment. So and yeah,
yeah.
like Christina said, is we have a overhaul, I would say, to some degree of the documentation. So definitely keep your eye out on that. But in regards to the yeah login, I think we can just log in as the forum admin if you want. So it should be just I think it's admin at forum.local. It's been a while because I usually log in with my GitHub,
Do
and the password
you know the
is very
password?
secure. Yeah.
Password.
Um,
Oh no, it's saying Twitch is broken. What is? How did Twitch break?
what's broken on Twitch? Are we lagging? Is
I
something you can't
I see it
see? Because
moving.
I see it going. Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe it's just Toma. Yeah, no, I'm seeing it moving right now. So not sure what's up. Um, okay, well,
Admin,
Toma,
make
hopefully you can
admin.
get it going again. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like a Bodie
That's
McBoat face.
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, so you can just continue here, and you can skip the other steps of the onboarding. Uh, that's a local image that I think you need to set up in the admin after you're logged in through the onboarding, which sounds kind of funny, but it's because it's particular to your Forem instance. So
mm,
okay, Tama's back. I think his internet just went kablooey or something. Cool. Okay, so I think the first thing to do is we want to create an organization, and
yeah.
it's been a while since I've done this. I think you need to go to
Go
settings.
into
So
admin. Oh, wait, is it in settings? Never mind.
I think because
I can look.
it's per user.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
there
there
it
it is.
is. Organization.
Organization on the left. So um, we don't need
Create.
a secret code. Yeah, so we can call it whatever. You know, Meg
Let's
Superboss
call it
Rail Shop. I don't know.
Twitch Friends.
There we go.
Okay, I'm glad you wrote friends. I thought you were about to write the F bomb. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Choose file. I have so many good pictures. So I'm choosing a picture of my cat
All right.
Woo woo.
What's your cat's name?
because
It, it,
pet,
I'm gonna.
yeah,
Okay.
website URL.
You can make up something. I usually just put YOLO.com. Or okay, yeah. All right, you can do that. All right. I don't think there's any. We won't be coming
Hmm.
at you with the lawyers today, so don't worry. Uh,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, we try not to sue our guests that come on the stream. So
That's always a good thing.
okay,
Um,
profile
how about you
image
put a
can't go
profile?
there.
Oh, it's just too big, I'm guessing.
Too big.
Oh, okay. Worst case, you can take just like a screenshot if you want, or
Yeah, I should have something like I download silly pictures all the time. I should have stuff that I can just
uh,
throw in there. Oh,
yeah, cool,
I could,
cool. Well, while you're doing that, yeah, Tama was saying he noticed like some other Twitch streams had some problems at some point, so maybe it was just the Twitch service at some point kicking out. Oh, Andrew's here too. Hey, how's it going, Andrew? Cool.
Hopefully
So we
this
should
is.
be okay now, as long as we're not uploading like a 5K image. All right. Cool. Okay, so we don't really need to do anything else in terms of the organization right now because you are part of the organization. But for folks at
Mhm.
home, if ever, because anyone on a forum instance can create an organization, and if ever you want to invite people to the organization, that's where that grow the team section is. You copy that. I think it's a
Secret code.
UUID there, and then you send that to them, and then when they go to their organization tab in their settings at the top, it says enter the key for that org, and that's how you can join an organization. Has nothing to do with what we're doing today, but since I saw it, I just thought I'd mention that. Okay.
And can I point out that
Yeah.
it said you should rotate this regularly, and I appreciate that there's that note there because it goes to the security mindset of the developers who
Yeah.
create this whole setup.
Yeah, definitely.
Oops, sorry.
Cool. Cool.
Sorry, I got
Okay.
my hair dyed recently.
Getting my hair dyed next week, so colors next week.
I haven't dyed mine in years, but at one point I had cheetah hair. I had like orange hair with black spots. But as university,
I'm not
Cheetah.
sure what I'm going with yet. I think it will probably be pink, but maybe blue. We'll see.
So
cool.
should we write a post
Yep.
and
Yeah.
take this for a
So
test run?
yeah. So I think what we'll do here now is so if you're not part of an organization, there's a drop down. Once you are a part of an organization, you'll be able to choose personal, which is your own account, or you can publish under your organization.
Ooh,
So we're so
wait
we're
a
gonna pick.
second. Um, I don't know if we have our own image set though. Oh no, we do. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's a
What
default
the
one. Yeah, we should be good. We are apparently some kind of livestock. They're auto generated when the file gets seeded.
oxen or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know.
So yeah. So if we write a post now, we want to do it under Twitch Friends. Now, folks might be seeing the editor and going like, "What is that?" The admin, when you first create the forum, is using the old editor, so that's why it looks like this. It's a setting
It's
that by default
now.
for new users will have the different view. We can change that if you want to, Meg, or you can stay full on liquid, not liquid
I love
markup.
it. It brings me
Okay.
back to Jekyll's the granddaddy of static site generators, and I'm all about static site generators. I'm getting into Jamstack recently, and it makes me happy.
Nice.
So, yeah.
All right. Cool.
We had a stream a couple weeks ago with Jason Langsdorff talking about Jamstack. If anyone wants to know more about Jamstack, you can check out our YouTube.
Yeah, that was super
And
fun.
there's a Jamstack conference coming up from Toronto, Jamstack Toronto. Henri Helvetica is in charge of that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I know they have a website, clickdeploy.ca. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, no,
so
he's involved with a lot of meetups in Toronto.
he's
Um,
everywhere. He's like you, Nick.
I don't think I'm as popular as Ari, but thank you for the kind words. Um, yeah, so for here, we can just
Meant
put
to
a
be.
title. Oh yeah, no, I definitely take it as a compliment. Thank you. Um, yeah, so we can just start off with a title, and we don't need to do anything else really aside from we can put some body in there for the content, like hello Twitch friends or happy pandemic 2021. I don't know.
No.
And just so
Okay.
you know, if you decide to keep this, you can always see like
Yep.
preview, so you know how it's supposed to look when it's published. So you might feel like you're flying by blind, but you're not. So
I think we're gonna have to publish it though, right?
Oh yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, we saved
we
it
are.
now, but yeah,
So
we'll
hit edit and then publish true. So up there where it says published, you want to just put
yeah.
true.
Yeah, and that's one of the
Yep.
main differences with this view versus the newer editor. The newer editor will have like a publish button at the bottom. Okay,
That's what I was
so
looking for.
Yep.
yeah, no, it's because I remember in the old days, because I'd been contributing to Dev way and was part of Dev way before it became Forem, so I used to forget to do that all the time. Okay, so we have the post here, and now if we go into, say, like the feed, for example, let's go just to see it working properly. Uh, there's not much seeded information in the feed, so we should be able to see uh, this article in there, or this post in there. So if we scroll down, there's always the fast banana one, which always cracks me up. But if we scroll down
Oh,
here, it should show up at the
Caching.
end. Yeah. Okay. Well, if not, it'll show up at some point. Maybe it's
here,
okay.
admin. No, that's not it.
No,
No.
that's another post. Okay, so maybe it's maybe the feed hasn't updated yet. Okay, but regardless, we can go and let's go back to that
You can search
post.
admin.
That's
Yeah,
not it. Okay, hardly wait. Command. What the heck? I'm trying to
I think
just
it's
hard refresh.
I think it might just be the feed hasn't updated yet. Not like the post
Mm-hmm.
is there, but like the feed itself hasn't picked it up yet, maybe. Because
Oh,
there's a algorithm for it. Um, okay, so what we can do
okay.
now is if we go back to your dashboard there,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll click on your post there, the Twitch friends initial post. Let's copy the URL that's up in the browser there, and we can copy that, and let's create a new post.
What if we go to
Or
Twitch?
comment. I think
So
they had
Yeah, or
commented, right? So we
oh
could put
yeah,
it in
or
the
comment.
comments here.
Yeah, we could add it in the discussion here. This can kind of be like a recursion joke, I guess. So the liquid tag we would use here is we'll do squiggly brackets, percent sign link. So the word link, LINK. And then
And
just
then
we'll,
at the end.
yeah, we'll just close it with percent squiggly brackets, and we can go preview, and we should see the issue right now. So we do.
Yep.
So that's good that we can reproduce it and we know what's kind of happening. Um, so like you were
but
saying, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
so I'd like to see it work properly as a normal post though.
If you go to your profile, you should see the card that
Yeah,
there.
And it's
Yeah, this one's actually not showing up correctly either.
yeah.
yeah.
So that's another issue potentially. It's a separate issue,
Yep. Yep.
potentially. Um, yeah, so what we want to do is we want to find that liquid tag, and I don't know if you can take note of that other issue, Christina. We can open up an issue after maybe. Um,
Yeah.
and if you want to work
Gonna
on that
write it
after too,
down.
but that's another thing. But okay, so if
Could
we
I
yeah,
just
go
real
ahead.
quick call an audible and navigate stuff too and
Yeah,
see because they have a picture of it working and
you
where's
can
like
go.
one so this is
You could
working here.
Yep.
okay. I
So maybe
wonder if
it's
it's related to the
local
fact
but
that you're the admin.
wow,
It could be
that
like
could
because like
be
the
it.
admin is a special user, so what we could try is just to because it clearly worked
Actually, I
on
can go to
dev.
my profile and look because I'm under the dev all over the place there.
Yeah,
So,
I think what we could do is we could try creating a new account, and that's not the admin, just to see.
yeah, because if I go to my account and I look at my profile, anything where I've done the dev team, and did there is the image of like the dev logo and then me little on my profile. So
Okay.
the issue we just saw there isn't. I can't reproduce it on mine.
Andrew in the chat's actually saying in the org view, it might be normal to just show the author's avatar. But if you go
Okay.
to your own profile, like if you go to admin Mick Admin's page there, let's just see if it's there. Okay, it's there.
Oh, there it is.
So
Yeah. Okay, that does make sense. I would say
yeah,
that wasn't a bug then, because I would
okay.
expect that
Thank
page
All
to
right.
have.
you so much.
Thank you, Andrew. Andrew
Shout out to
Bone.
Andrew. Yeah. We're live coding in the matrix here. Okay, so I think we're okay outside of liquid tag land. So, but in liquid tag land, we're clearly seeing the issue. So I think what would be good to do is let's try and find that liquid tag first. And I
Yeah.
haven't worked with liquid tags too much, but I did pair with Chuck Smith in one of the, I think it was the second code pairing I did. And like the liquid tags, there's always there's a template, and sometimes there could be JavaScript and stuff too, but we can look in here, and I'll show you a neat trick. If you press the letter T, and in GitHub, you can actually quickly search through the code, just kind of like doing Command P in VS Code. So I'm not sure what the liquid tag is called. Maybe it's called link, because that's what it was. That's what the liquid tag appears to be called, at least in when you use the editor.
Yep, liquid tag, links tag,
yeah.
second one there.
Oh yeah, okay.
Let's look at that.
There's a ton of other keyboard shortcuts in GitHub. I don't know them all. I use T all the time though. So definitely check that out if you want to power up in GitHub. Okay, so we can see here. So okay, so we have a partial, which is the article's liquid tag. Okay.
Article title.
Okay.
The URL domain.
Maybe.
So I think really what it is, user articles where, okay, so find article by user,
Okay.
find article by org.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
there's something in here. Now, I did a little recon last night. I'm gonna let the audience know.
Yeah.
Why don't I go through kind of what I did last night, and it might not have been the quickest way, but this is what I do when I'm debugging something, because I'm more of like a big picture thinker, and
Okay.
I was thinking, okay, so it's this article, and it's a user and an org avatar that aren't getting along in this article, right? So
Yeah.
I went into the app and I looked at the models, and I went down and I was like, okay, here's the article model. We have an organization, and then we have users. So I had started with organization and was looking through the so in Rails, these are like the relationships. So organization has many organization memberships and has many users through organization memberships. So that told me that this is what joins them together.
Okay.
And I think that is just looking at that and seeing here how this is kind of like either or.
Okay.
There's got to be like some action on a user to say like, so what was the deal? It was coming back as just the user.
Yep.
Okay.
So it has to be an action that says that displays the org along with the user if
Mhm.
organization, because obviously it's just drilling down too far.
Yeah.
Um, so that's kind of how I went through last night. Um, it's just
Yeah.
really like chasing these down, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
So
think like you definitely know more Rails than me because I typically work on the front end, but I think like we need to like we know that the user is part of an org and like what we're trying to test here. So
mhm.
we're clearly getting the article for that user. We just need to see if that same article is also published under an org. So I'm wondering if like we can maybe see like when does like find article by user get called versus find article by org as well.
Yeah, I don't know
Because
much about Ruby, but I'm wondering if this is like something like kind of like a switch statement in JavaScript. Like, is it just finding the other first, and because it found that, that's what it's throwing in instead of looking for the org because it's underneath?
yeah.
That would be like my thought with Ruby, but I don't know.
So right now we're in uh, liquid tags. So these look like kind of like models, I guess.
Yeah, there's like a
Although,
from what I remember, I think there's like one main liquid tag controller, I believe. And then there's
Mm.
models, and then the partial there, that's the view, so like the HTML snippet that gets used. Um, and
yeah.
some of the liquid tags do have JavaScript sometimes, but not all of them. Um, but we can definitely I'd say like if we go maybe hop into VS Code and we look at that link tag liquid tag to see we can like maybe just search the code base to see like when does or because I couldn't see in that file actually when it calls find article by user versus org, but I am kind of wondering if it could be an order thing too, like for example like when you're checking for routes, like if it matches a route, like this has nothing to do with liquid tags, but when you're saying find a route and they're kind of greedy, so like if it says like oh I already matched it here, it's never going to go to the one down here.
Mhm.
I'm wondering if it's a case of that. um
So it's not. So what happens is this is a method, so it will like explicitly be called on an object, um, and it'll receive arguments. So what the argument is like it'll receive an object as an argument, sorry, and it will take in so it'll take in a user as the argument here, and whatever the username is, it will use that to find the user object, and then it will return the articles where the slug,
yeah, so
or
the slug would
slug,
be the article slug, I imagine, like the it's usually like the
Mhm.
title with a alphanumeric hyphenated
so the
piece to
slug
it.
must be the thing that's abstracted from between the liquid tag brackets.
Yeah, so
So it'll
it'll
find that and return the first entry that it encounters that's stored under that particular user. And
yeah.
then the same with hash. So like what we did for this one, um, So it took this and it put it in there, and it's like, okay, this is an organization. And then
Okay.
yeah, it's like, okay, great. We found this organization. And then it took the second part, the slug, and then found that article object that belonged to the organization and returned that, which
Yeah.
turned out to be that.
Yeah,
And
I didn't realize when you pasted the URL that I thought it included the username too, but it's just the org name. So that makes sense why it's grabbing it by org. So I think it's just my
maybe
hunch, but like it
or
yeah,
even
so like
here.
like in the find article by org, that's what's getting called right now because it's finding a slug for that particular organization. It's getting the article. What it isn't doing is getting the user that wrote that article. So that's the missing piece
Mm-hmm.
there. I think it's uh so like but maybe it's not the responsibility of that find article by org because that's just to find the article, but we need this extra information after so we can maybe see yeah, if we go to the link
Oh,
tag. Okay, yeah, so that's what we had open there. And then it'd be
that
interesting to
big.
see the partial too. So if we look for articles/liquid, like on line 3 there, uh, are
Oh,
you
yeah.
in VS Code or are you in Sublime? I can't tell what you're. Oh no, you're in VS Code. Yeah, okay. Um,
Um,
we can.
Jinx. We both said
Yeah, you
I'm
can
like,
do if you do Command P and just type in articles/liquid, I think it should give you an option.
oh, okay.
I'm gonna interrupt for 1 second. I'm gonna turn off my camera for a minute, y'all, because I'm gonna lower my standing desk, and y'all don't need to see me over here like struggling to
Okay,
lower my
but
standing desk. So I'll be right back.
you could pretend you're
All
in the
right.
elevator going down though, like if anybody
Yeah,
remembers
except
Austin
mine is like
Powers.
the kind you actually have to like bring
Oh, okay,
down,
okay.
not like power down. So
Gotcha,
yeah, I'll be
gotcha.
back in just a second, y'all.
Like,
All right. The magic of the internet. She's here, she's gone.
we gotta see. We want to see her work.
Okay.
FYI, I hear the train thing lowering, so it's about to get noisy on my end too for a little bit.
Oh, don't sweat it. I have this noise canceling software that actually blocks out even guests' background noise. So like there's
Oh,
been
is it?
times where yeah, it's crisp.ai, KRISP.ai. They're not a sponsor or anything. It just works really well. But yeah, it'll block out even your noise. So like I'll have guests say like, "Oh yeah, sorry for all that noise," and I'm like, I don't hear anything. So it's don't sweat it.
It's like I
Okay,
just had a herd of rhinos go down the street. What? So you
okay,
know what, Nick?
yeah.
I was here before at 3 o'clock this morning. I told you I was going to have this moment before we
All
started
right,
live
deja vu.
streaming.
Are we in the Matrix now?
Yeah. So
Okay, so
this is
article
exactly where we need to be. Um,
article user dot
yeah.
okay, so yeah, so you can see already here, like there's a section when there is an article user path and oh, you know what? Okay, you know what's happening? Regardless of whether it finds it by org or not, it's just always saying grab me the user for that particular article, which makes sense. So we just need to, I think, look at there's I think there's two things we need to do. We need to pass in the org for one so that we can get the org image. And then the other thing is what we can probably do is so we don't have to mess around too much with the CSS. We can look at if we look at what gets generated for the like in the feed and stuff, where it has the main
Mm-hmm.
the org avatar with the small user avatar, we can copy that markup and stuff. But what I'd say first is let's try and figure out how we can get the org passed in here. And from my somewhat limited knowledge of Rails, I think you can have, I forget what they call them, but you can pass in variables into the template. There's a special name for it though, the variables. I forget what it's called.
Yeah,
Um,
instance variable.
yeah, that's it. Thank you. Uh,
Yes. So now that you're bringing this up, because so last night I had found this equivalent in the show page, and I'm
okay.
pretty sure that it is this. Um,
Okay. Because I imagine the article object, because the article object gets pulled out of active record and it must already have an org associated to it, like as a property. I'm not positive, but
yeah. So here we have, okay, let me close that down. So here, so let me just go through. This is all like metadata and stuff up here. So we don't need that stuff. This is checking about more metadata, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah.
Uh, I'm gonna interrupt you
So
for 1 second there, Meg. Dr. Polar Human in the chat is saying it should be in view art. Okay, no, you're already in view articles. Never mind.
Yep.
yeah, they're talking about the liquid tag partial. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so this is checking now if organization,
Mm-hmm.
if there's an
Which is an
organization
instance
instance,
variable, right? Yeah.
yeah, then they're calling this organization profile image
Mm.
and
Okay.
displaying that here with organization name. Um,
Okay.
then they have username down below, and they have
As a
the
subheader, yeah.
user profile
Okay.
image here with the username.
Okay. So
Yeah,
I
you can
think
see the design system there. It's called subheader, so it must be making it the tinier image.
yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
they have
Okay.
exactly.
So I think what
This
we
is
can do
all in the subheader.
I think what we could do before you even do like the CSS and adding the markup, why don't we just get the organization instance variable injected into the template and we can just it's not going to look good, but we can just have it like output the organization name just so we know that we're getting that information, and then we
Mm-hmm.
can or even the org image if you want to pull out, but just um, get the organization, if it exists, injected into the template. And I'm not I imagine you do that from the controller, or is that within the view? Like I said, I haven't done too much with Rails,
That's
so
in the controller.
okay.
Model view controller. So, well, let's check out the model real quick just to get like kind of a grasp on what we're doing. Um, so the article model belongs, okay, so we have here, these are key. Belongs to,
Yeah,
it definitely belongs to a user, but it's optional that it belongs to an organization. So like a user
yeah,
has to write an article.
Mm-hmm.
And like we saw earlier with that drop down, that they can write an article as an organization, but if, like in all eventuality, it's the user that's writing that article. Now, I don't know what this counterculture is. And I saw that last night and was like, what? So
That I'm not sure. But I know the belongs
let's
to
do
that's creating the relationship like that. That must be a foreign key in the database to the organization and user tables.
this is turbocharged counter caches. Oh, okay. So it's just a gem.
Okay.
It doesn't have
Okay.
anything to do with
It has to do with our caching layer, I guess. Okay.
yeah, not what we need. Okay, so
Okay.
this is like a whole bunch of SQL stuff. Um,
I like the little to do in there for rhymes. Maybe we should remind
Yeah.
rhymes.
so so we
okay,
know. Okay, there. Mascot.
so this is another thing. Do you know what staff user ID and mascot user ID are?
Yeah, they're
Like,
gonna get.
what?
I think they're getting pulled out eventually, but the mascot user ID, like if you're looking at Dev 2, for example, is typically Sloan, our mascot. And
Hmm.
uh, I think the staff user ID, it's not, it's config settings. I think that might be, I don't think it's the admin. It's, I think you can choose like a staff user ID in the admin settings. I'm not positive.
So it's like more internal.
Yeah, and I think they're refactoring out the mascot ID as well. I
Okay.
kind of remember seeing that in some conversations in Slack. Um, but yeah, because there's a ton of stuff in the view here, and there is caching in place too. But we know there's an optional organization, which makes sense for an article. So I imagine at the controller level, we can pass in the article's organization. And if it doesn't exist, it'll be nil in the template, and we can do a check, I imagine, to see like, is there an org or not, something like that.
Yeah, so here is articles controller. Okay.
And and while you're just
So,
opening that, I'm just gonna we built this fun animation of, I don't know, it's like 3 weeks ago.
I know.
There's a Twitch stream command, so you're gonna see we have our mascot swing across the screen. He should pop up in a second.
oh,
I'm
I
seeing a
want to
delayed stream.
watch.
There he goes.
Anyways, yeah,
No love.
yeah. Anyways, sorry. I had to put that in at least once during the stream.
I am so glad you did. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, so in the
Hey,
articles controller,
we see
because
organizations, but that's under edit.
Mm.
yeah, but edit. I had a
Page
question though, because
editor.
this is the articles controller for articles, but it's not necessarily the controller for the liquid tag, right? I imagine there's a separate controller for the liquid tag.
No, it's it's not, the but the liquid tag works off of the article image or article object.
Oh yeah, so
So
we should have access to it anyways.
yeah, yes. It's a templating language, so it's a wrapper around the um objects that we already have. Um, so we need to find a way to feed in the organization into here, and way that we do that is from getting the organization from the article controller, and I don't believe there's liquid tag control, but hey, here we go. Let's see. Let's go in there. Let's see what's going on.
Because I thought there was
Yeah,
a
this is.
main one.
So it's
Liquid
filter not
tags control.
being.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
So
that's how it works. Yeah, yeah.
and
I
that's
think
kind
too,
of the same
though,
thing. And then
like if we go back to like the liquid tag template, the for the article, because we already have the article object in here, like article.organization should exist, right? I mean, assuming there is an organization.
yeah, that's correct. Yeah, you're right.
Like maybe we can just validate that, we could just output a string that does something like article dot organization dot name or something, or I'm not sure what the property is on the organization. I'm assuming it's name, but maybe it isn't.
Image URL on this
Let's
one.
find out. Oh my God, there's so many. I'm not good with short codes to get places.
Oh, don't sweat it.
Um,
It's I think it's probably just name,
yeah, we'll just
because
go
because
with
I'm pretty sure, like, knowing the
The
folks
image
that
is
work on the
profile image URL if we want to do that.
yeah.
yeah,
Oh
there
yeah,
you
it's
go.
right there.
Name.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, perfect.
All right,
Yeah, and we,
so
yeah.
article user path div class, title. Okay, let's do. Oh, and I just want to make sure. Okay, I'm in a different branch. I want to make sure about that. Or article dot organization dot name. Or I'm making it like noticeable.
Definitely need exclamation marks. We could throw in some emojis in there too.
Just to be safe.
And yeah,
So
if we refresh this, it should show it, but because when we're doing local development, the caching is typically not active. All right, cool.
Woo.
Okay, so all right, so that's awesome. Obviously, this is not how we want it to look, but we've got the info coming in there. And like Christina was saying, there's a profile underscore image underscore URL, I think. So I think what you were showing before there, Meg, in the other herb template, we can probably uh, just literally copy the same thing, except instead of an at organization instance variable, it would be article dot organization, I guess.
yeah. So, but we need to make sure we have this wrapped in a conditional. Because
Yeah,
it's not
they just
guaranteed.
said that there in the comments too. Make sure you use
Yeah.
an if statement.
Yeah, I think if you
Yeah.
look on in
So,
the right file on line 128, they have like an if just to check the existence of the org.
so let's see. We have up here. So background image will be the same. So article user path tag link profile. Okay, so this is the image, the profile image.
Okay.
So here we'll do. So these are called ERB tags. Ooh, can I use this in Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, it
If
should be good.
article organization, so this is saying like if this exists, we're gonna do I'm just gonna
We can,
set up the conditional right now. So
yeah,
out and
yeah,
then
and then do what we
ah
currently have for the else
yeah,
for the image,
and
and then
exactly. And make sure my indentation's nice.
we have pre-commit stuff that will format it for you if you don't. So
Oh
we
yeah,
try to
nice
let the
song.
robots do as much as possible.
So actually, okay, so what I'm going to do is kind of look at what they're doing here and see, because here, so they have like a different syntax
Yeah,
as far as not syntax, sorry, different measurements for the
yeah,
profile image.
because I imagine if you have an org, that will be the large one, so that it'll have the standard size, and then the profile image for the excuse me, the user. I think it's about half the size. I can't remember what the sizing is, but
The thing that confuses me a little bit is that both of them say length 50,
Mm-hmm.
but one appears much larger than the other.
I think that has to do with the design system because
Okay.
there's one that's
yeah,
like the header,
yeah,
or I can't remember where it's at. There's one that's like subheader.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So
It,
one's okay,
it
gotcha.
it could be a case of
Um,
us just not using the right size image, and we're just shrinking visually, which is not necessarily a good thing for performance, but that's something else to check, I guess.
okay. Yeah, because this is interesting. Maybe I
Yes,
should,
we have.
I'm gonna copy
Yeah, I think we
this.
can copy what's over there, and then instead of at organization, we can just change it to user, sorry, article.organization.
The thing is, there's also the uh, CSS syntax is different, so that needs to be adjusted to like go along with the liquid tag syntax. Um,
What's the, what do you mean about the
there's
syntax?
Brown's logo.
Yeah,
Yeah, Crowns is the design system that we use in Forem.
yeah,
It's the Forem
it's
design system.
there's a mix of things.
The-
So yeah, anything prefixed with crayons dash is like Christina's saying design system. L tag like underscore underscore link underscore underscore pick is it's kind of like BEM usage, which is like block element modifier syntax, which crayons does use as well. But it, we prefixed everything with crayons dash because we had what we typically call the legacy CSS in the system. We wanted to distinguish it. So that's why it's prefixed like that right now, because we apply some presets and stuff to it in terms of CSS. But why don't we save this for a sec? And I know it's not going to render exactly how we want it, but we can at least see what we're getting when we have an org.
Okay, you
And
ready? Oh, my God, see this ugly mess.
okay, cool.
Okay.
So
Getting closer.
yeah, okay. So So we're on the right path, which is good. Obviously, this isn't the finished look here that we want, but we're getting there. So it's, I don't know. Personally, I like when I'm working on stuff. I like to do just check stuff, baby steps. Just the progress just kind of gives me a little boost. So maybe it's just me,
Yeah.
but um,
So
yeah.
what
So
I'm seeing from this, and I'm glad you stopped us to look at this, because what we just copied over is the format for one of those. Sorry for the but we just copied over is this format.
Yep.
Remy
yeah,
made a
which is
new post on Pixel Digital when
You
so
want
it's
that one for
this,
the dev team. Yeah.
and that we don't want that. What we want is Twitch friend or Mick Admin made a post for Twitch friends down here
yeah.
for the liquid tag. So we want this part to be down here, and which means we need to remove some of the code that I copied over
Okay.
just now
Yeah,
and
and if you go
move it.
back to the screenshots there in the issue again.
So you see the difference how it's the organization name is up above here.
Yeah,
Um, and then the username is up above, and then it's like, here's the
Article
title,
title. Yeah.
yeah.
and but when it's in a liquid tag, it's down here below the title.
Yeah, because if we look at an existing one, like if we go back to your comment, if we uh
This is the
if yeah, if
Yeah.
we edit that, but we um yeah, if you just edit the comment for a second, if you click on the three dots in the top right there of the comment, we'll go back to the edit view, and let's leave that open for a sec. Open up another tab and let's go grab another URL for another article that's not part of an org, just to have them side by side, so we can compare
okay.
as we go.
Oh, like another
Got
whole.
dev. Yeah.
You'll need one from your article from your local
Yeah.
website though. It's just more to
Yep.
see the format side by side, because I don't think the liquid tag of a single article looks completely the same, but uh, it'll just be more one we can compare both as we edit things, so that we know we're still preserving the existing one.
That is a great idea.
That's me just putting on my QA panic hat. So we can see here now. Okay, so all right, that's good. So yeah, so this is what I wonder too now. See, like in the liquid tag, we're not like, even when it's a single user, we don't, we show the user at the bottom there. And
Yeah.
this part I'm not positive if we want to put the org in the bottom too or not. It's potentially an open question about the issue, because we're gonna see with once we have the finished avatars, will have the org large and then the user small, and their name will still be there. But the fact that the avatars there already indicates that it's the organization, so I'm not sure. We'd have to. That's something we can look at after. I think we could probably ask folks
I
on the
feel like that's
product.
already been here.
Yeah, no, but the thing with this view though is, like, even when it's a single article, it has their title, but like we were showing in the, if you go back to the liquid tag view in the comment, even in the single, when it's somebody's article, their name isn't on the top either. That's why I'm just kind of wondering.
That's, okay, so could I try to explain it again?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Um, So I'm not saying to put the name on the top.
Oh, okay.
Is that what is? Yeah, I'm saying, and that's what our behavior that we just did is mimicking, because we copied this template, and that's why
Yeah.
it's rendering that way.
Oh yeah, okay,
Um,
gotcha. Yeah.
so I think we should take this Twitch friends. So it reads admin, make admin for Twitch friends down here.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm just not sure if we want to write for the org in the bottom where their name is or not. I'm not against it. It's more just to ask the product team
Product design.
because it's
Yeah.
because it's kind of in it's by having the organization avatar, it's kind of implied it's for that org. But uh, again, I'm not saying I don't want to do it. It's not that. It's more that would be just an extra part of the issue that I would probably ask a question in the issue. Um, we could probably
Okay.
tag somebody on the product
Yeah.
side of things
I
just
mean,
to confirm.
we could definitely confirm in the issue. I thought that it would be natural to do that, since that's already how they display things when they're not using liquid tags. So I
Yeah,
thought they would want to keep that continuity throughout the site. And
yeah,
just like, as a developer, even though I'm a Ruby developer, which does a lot of implicit stuff, I feel like I like to be explicit a lot, just to, because there's so many people that I've come in contact with that are new to development and also non-native English speakers.
Mm-hmm.
So being more explicit, I think, helps to like answer questions that weren't even asked, you know?
Yeah. Well, I
oh
think
yeah,
I think we probably do want to just ask product just to make sure of like where they want it, but I do think having the organization's name would be a good idea, just like you're saying, because just because you have the profile, some people's organization profiles are like you don't know what they are. They don't necessarily say anything, so it would be good to have
yeah.
the name of it as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the
And
other thing too is we have to think about the mobile view. So like if it gets squished up,
Yeah.
it's again, like I said,
yeah,
it's not because I don't want to do it. It's more just to ask the question and get a response back about it. So
um, another thing I'm seeing here is the rendering of the image stupidly tiny.
Yeah.
Um, so this crown's logo may be the reason, because of that styling. It may not. It could be these classes up here, because so maybe we could try and just replace those classes first and see what happens. You
yeah,
want to just like try to replace some classes one at a time and go back and see how the image changes.
well, what I would probably do is I would go to the like if you go to like the dev site where or wherever we have the organization avatar and the mini avatar, and I would inspect that
Mhm.
HTML and I would go with what's there in terms of classes, and then we can kind of mold it into the template. So like if we go to I think if we go to it's always fun saying it, but if we go to admin Mick admin's profile, we can see the article and it'll show the article with the avatar of uh, the organization.
Gotcha.
Um, you'll go to you can go to your local host if you want, or doesn't matter.
It's,
If you're on
it's
dev,
easy.
we can just go to yeah,
She's
okay, yeah,
she's
I
in
just
local
found
host. Yeah.
yeah.
I know, it looks fantastic. It looks too good to be true, right?
Okay, yeah, so here. So what I would do, like if I was working on it, I would that whole section there, like I would right click and inspect like the big avatar, and then we can figure out the
Okay.
just grabbing both avatars like in the markup, we can, if you click on the arrow at the top of the dev tools there, uh, if you just
Yeah,
scroll,
I
okay.
yeah,
She did. She highlighted them. Yep.
I'm
Oh
way
yeah, cool.
ahead of you, Ned.
Yeah, cool. All right, so
Narrating. I apologize.
oh no worries.
Uh,
So we can already see, like, obviously the URL for the image is not what we're gonna paste in the into the template, but we can at least grab the markup and then plug in the variables after for like the profile image, etc. And then we'll have the proper classes most likely, minus the text of like the admin, McAdmin for Twitch friends, like because we said we wanted to remove that.
okay.
Like
So
There is an
you,
after there. I'm wondering what the after's doing in case that like messes with the image or
oh yeah.
not.
Yeah, if you click on that, let's
Uh,
see. Okay, no, this is
looks like maybe it's a border.
yeah, no, but in
it,
the after two we have a bunch of presets. It's like a CSS reset for a bunch of things.
Mm.
I'm
well,
trying to see what
it,
else there is some
the
border though, yeah.
after, it looks like the after is setting an absolute position for the user avatar to
Yeah.
go off of.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's because you have like the actual element, and then you can have it's like a pseudo element before and after. So like they'll have the main avatar, and then it looks like they're absolutely positioning the user avatar by moving it over to the bottom right. I think if I look at
Also,
that.
everything's inside a link, so you're gonna want to grab the classes for the link because that's the image is just being rendered inside the link, and I think
Yeah,
the link is probably giving it most of its
Okay.
yeah, like if you
CSS.
go, I think if you go to Crayon Story Author Pick, the div just above it should grab everything maybe. Or
Okay.
one more. I'm not positive, but if you click on that one, that looks like it's got everything in that. So what you can do is you can write, yeah, edit HTML, the second one in the menu there. If you go up to the top, or you could do copy outer HTML if not in the menu there.
Outer HTML. Okay.
Or if you right click again, you can just the second one, yeah, you can say edit as HTML. If you just click on the second one in the menu at the top, or that, yeah. So
Okay.
that should have copied all the markup. So if we come back to the template, if we, I think you already copied it already copied the auto HTML. So if you go back to the template in VS Code,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's in there. I think you're just behind a little, Nick, for some reason.
oh, that's weird. That's weird that I have a delay. Normally it would be the opposite.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she keeps going in there.
It's
Like, I'm
it's like
confused.
it's like is Nick being condescending? No, his internet is just lagging. Okay. Uh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So maybe I'll let Christina comment on it because I have some weird lag. Um,
I'm like, what? I'm doing this.
I'm there.
yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so I just pasted what I copied from there into the if
Yeah.
article organization. If the article was published by an organization.
Yeah. Uh,
Um,
so let's like I know we need to plug in the variables in there, but let's save that. Uh, okay. They're saying on the stream too. There's a delay. I'm not sure what's up. Uh, maybe Twitch is slow today. Um,
Yeah.
let's go back to your local host and let's refresh the comment section. I know these are all hard coded the URLs right now, but it's more to just to see if the look is proper. I
okay.
think you had
Yeah.
it open in your first tab there.
Oh, you
Yeah, so
are
if we refresh this
correct.
view,
Oh, it's over in the corner. Look at that. It's
oh
over
yeah,
in
yeah,
like the
okay.
corner.
Okay. So I think what the issue too is maybe it's like some outer CSS classes where like it's scoped within another class maybe.
I think they just didn't copy it over, right? Is what happened. Let me,
Yeah.
because you kept asking me to copy things, and I think I copied the wrong things, to be honest.
Oh, no
What
worries.
the heck
And
was he copy?
I'll only say it
Here, let
once
me.
because of the delay or whatever, so I don't sound condescending. So
Meg,
uh,
you messed this whole thing up. What the heck?
there's
Uh,
okay, yeah. Yeah, try pasting that. And if that still gives the weird look like to the far right, I saw there was an outer div that
Another
it says
one. Yeah.
story meta or something. Maybe that's what's making it work. But let's try this again and see.
uploads,
The,
organization.
I think the funny thing
Okay.
about the delay that people are experiencing on Twitch, that I can understand, but me, I'm locally seeing what you're doing in real time, so I'm not sure why I'm getting a delay, but
No, it's
Uh,
just funny like that.
if you go back, I'll say it so that Nick doesn't like. You go back to where we were copying all the stuff. What Nick saw was like if you go ahead and go up a couple like to this crown story meta. Okay, down one. Okay, that one. So I don't think it's that because that's everything, Nick. That's
Yeah.
got the
yeah.
name
So
and stuff in it too.
can I give
Oh
it
yeah.
a shot? So I'm gonna backspace a bunch, undo, undo. Okay. So this is right now, and I'm gonna go back and refresh this. I know we only have a
Yeah.
couple minutes,
Oh
but
no, it's okay.
okay. Right now we're back to this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
my original thought was just to like try to make them play along, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
um see what would happen. Uh because whoa, hey, in all probability it's the the two classes
Well,
conflict.
the one you just changed, the L tag link was probably for a link and not an image. And that might be
Yeah.
why it went like all crazy.
Yeah. Uh,
Is
definitely try this.
The L tag link pic is probably for the picture.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you did put that in the link, so that was in the A. Okay, I see. Um,
yeah, so just
yeah, yeah.
kind of go ahead and do that. Um,
Yeah, I think
just
it'll
rip
well,
stuff out.
we can definitely refresh it. I think they'll end up like side by side maybe, or one below each.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So the the thing like Christina was mentioning before when we were looking at the markup is there's that uh after pseudo element and stuff. So it's a bit of a special case. It's not the other image is kind of it's part of the other image to some degree. It's in the pseudo element area. So it's
Mhm.
will I think what we'll do is well, a couple things. One, we've figured out the problem and we've actually fixed it. Visually, we still need to correct some things, but we have it working in both scenarios where just to give you a bit of a hat tip here. So we have, if we look at the existing comment below, it's still unaffected for if it's a user that posts it. And then when we're
Mm-hmm.
a
Great
user who's
thing.
posted an article under an org, we have both avatars showing now. Obviously, as we've seen, the markup, it doesn't look correct right now, but we've essentially fixed the problem. Now it's just a question of getting the styling right and removing
Mm-hmm.
that text, like you said, the Twitch friends. And I don't think we're really that far off from that. I can definitely probably take a peek with at that with you like after the stream at some point if you want. And I think what else we could do is, like we were saying, I'm pretty sure we're going to put in the organization text. It's just where's product okay with placing it in here in the context of an organization's post, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
I
just wanted.
I'm
Sorry,
like,
go ahead.
okay, I have my teeth in this, and I feel like I'm gonna get this today.
Well, there's no definitely. I mean, that's awesome if you do. No
Yeah, I'm
pressure to
wondering
finish it
if that,
today,
like, just what you mentioned, if the little image is just the after, because it's positioned absolute, it's positioned into a spot like
Yeah,
Yeah,
next to, and I
I
think
feel
that's what's happening, and that's why we're not getting it because we don't have that. Like, you'd probably have to go through that CSS and see exactly what they're doing there to make it an
yeah,
after. Um,
honestly, I think it's a matter of getting the org position, kind of like if there's an org, place it in here instead
uh-huh.
of user, and then add using that pseudo class, that pseudo
Hmm.
after class, add the user thing
yeah,
here.
yeah. And I
Right.
think when we copied the markup, it was doing that, but visually it wasn't looking like that because what can happen in
There's too much of
CSS is we have like we have the classes saying this is how we want it to look or be positioned, but sometimes you'll have like a parent element that has a CSS class which will actually dictate how those other classes will function. So I have a feeling it's a
Yeah.
case of that, or there's something minor that we're missing, but uh I just wanted to say, like I said at the start of stream, the goal isn't to finish the issue here, but like we've pretty much gotten, I'd say like
That would
95%
be
of the way.
great.
So like
Yay,
go team.
Meg!
Hey,
So
man, people
like you
watching and help.
mentioned,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I was gonna say, like you mentioned, Meg, we are getting close to 2:30, so I didn't have to stop you. You brought it up yourself, but I think it's a great place to stop, and um maybe I think just before we kind of wrap up here, maybe kind of just if you're okay with kind of just explaining what we covered here and like how we kind of came about to get where we are right now, and then I think we can wrap up from here.
Yeah, so we went through, we approached the problem and examined it thoroughly, which is a very important step.
Yeah.
And then Nick had the great idea to search using T. I did not know that was possible, and it's going to help so much in the future. We searched for the link tag, liquid tag, and found the like kind of meat of our issue, and we examined more of the broader outlook on some of the parts that go into our issue, because that's how I happen to operate in between these ears, with a big picture outlook. Um, whatever works for you, if you know how you operate best, definitely hone in on that and use it. Um, and then we were able to find the instances where it was working in the app and compare the file that wasn't rendering what we wanted to the file that was rendering correctly and start solving it that way. So although we did not actually finish, we identified the problem and we're well on our way to completing this issue. And hey, product team, we're going to have a question for you coming.
Yeah,
I
for
just
Yeah.
sure.
want to say one thing real quick that I used to teach at a boot camp, and I know Meg's just saying right now that she's like going to be looking for a job soon because she's finishing a boot camp. Her just walkthrough of this for everyone was really, really well. So if anyone's looking to hire, I think you would get a good hire in Meg because it sounds like one, she knows what she's talking about, and two, she can also explain to other people she's working with. So keep that in mind, everyone who's out there. If
So much.
And she's from Philly, so Philly represent.
Yeah, for
Cool,
sure.
cool. Well, that's awesome. Oh, Christina's on the big screen here. This happens when we stop sharing the screen.
every
There we go.
time.
Okay, we're back. So, yeah, I just want to say I had a lot of fun today, Meg. I'm so glad we were able to get really, really far in this issue, and looking forward to seeing this fix in production. And also, just a little more hat tip to you. This won't just be fixed for Dev 2. We have many forum instances now, and there will be even more in the future. So this fix you're doing is going to go out to lots of other
All
communities,
the
including like,
forums.
yeah, shout outs to like some
That's
of our other forums like relicans.com, for example. And this MMA Life if you're into MMA. And there's a bunch of
Community
others.
Club. I'm on that one a lot.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah,
great one.
yeah.
that's
And there's
awesome. I had no
yeah,
idea.
so
Thanks for telling me.
yeah,
Ripple
no, I
effect.
think
I love.
that's one of the cool things I like about working on the project is it's not just like one app you're fixing this for. It's like literally think of it like, it's something like WordPress or whatever, where it's like anybody that has a WordPress blog, if you put a fix in there, it's going to be literally for millions of people potentially. So it's kind of cool. Um,
Yep.
yeah, I just want
Yeah.
to say thanks again. Christina
One other
dropped
thing,
all your
Meg, if
links
you do
there.
get this the next couple days, be sure to, and I can send you a link later on, write a little post, just kind of what you learned. You can even just talk about this if you want, and we can make sure that you get the Bug Smash badge for your dev.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
write little posts. I'm wordy, so
Or long post, detailed post. There's a template
Yeah,
that you can
yeah.
follow, and you can just do what you want with it.
Yeah, if
all
you want
right,
to write a
cool.
haiku about it, just go do a haiku, a limerick, whatever, So
About that.
we don't judge. We don't judge. Cool,
No.
cool. Yeah, I think we're gonna call it
Much
for today. Thanks again,
yeah,
and I'm gonna
fun.
shamelessly plug one thing before we go. I, some folks know I stream on my own stream, but I'm starting a thing
Mhm.
tomorrow. I'm just calling it JavaScript Hours. I registered javascripthours.com. So it's like 10 a.m. Eastern, which I believe is 3 p.m. UTC. Not positive. But anyways, it's just I'm going to be doing some JavaScript katas. And if folks have questions about JavaScript, I don't necessarily have all the answers, but just fun to hang out and talk about
I'm
JavaScript
going to be
if you
checking
want
this
to.
out because my JavaScript needs some help lately.
Yeah. I registered
And
the domain, so I had to do something with it. So
Nice.
also,
cool, cool.
I know Christina dropped in the very beginning.
Yeah, I'll drop them again.
Yeah, thank you. I volunteer with Ruby for Good. It's another open source community. Super great. If you want to get started in open source, that's where I did and fell in love with open source Ruby, everything about coding. And Philly has an awesome tech community. Three that I'm super involved with are Women Who Code Philadelphia, um, the self-taught software developers, and
Yeah,
I'm a co-leader for Free Code Camp Philly. So
Nice.
check those
nice.
out.
Cool, cool. Will
Awesome.
do. All right. Well, thanks everybody, and we will see you next week. Next week we are back with Gant Laborde. We're going to be doing
And
some AI shenanigans again, so it's going to be fun. So if you can, stop by next week. Take care, everybody.
like